Our journey begins with a profound idea from Nikola Tesla, who believed that there is in the universe a core from which we all draw all our strength, all our inspiration. It eternally attracts us, and each of us can feel its values. I have never managed to penetrate the secret of that core, but I feel it exists. When I wish to spiritually conceive it, then it is light. When I wish to ascribe to it some material attribute, then it is beauty and compassion. This insight is the foundation for the technical analysis by graduate engineer Goran Marjanović, who explains that the physical matter we see is continuously being created, moment by moment, as a spiral standing wave, or a tiny energetic whirlpool, known as an etheric vortex, within the seemingly empty physical vacuum. The substance we perceive is simply the intensely condensed core of these subtle energy whirlpools, which, in our limited world, generates the illusion that particles are separate. Yet their deep, undeniable connection, carried by wave packets of energy, is invisible to our physical senses. This makes matter an illusion of solidity and separation, a truth Eastern traditions have long taught by calling our world Maya, illusion, stressing that fundamental separation does not exist. Furthermore, every physical and spatial event has a corresponding spiritual and temporal double, a mirror image or a subtle energetic form of consciousness, which acts as its space-time inversion, and this works both ways. The Quantized Energy Densities Model, QEDM, is built on the critical hypothesis that the entire cosmos, from the smallest proton to the largest galaxy, consists of stable objects that all operate in a universal resonant state. Mathematical analysis confirms that all these objects follow a single, consistent mathematical blueprint that links their mass and size. This rule is astonishingly identical for every entity, ranging from the vast universe itself right down to the supreme spiritual absolute. In this model, any local irregularity in space, like the gaps between planets or galaxies, perfectly reflects a corresponding discontinuity within time, such as the cycle of human life or the long cosmic cycles known as the Brahmanday. The tangible part of reality that we can measure, the macro and micro world, down to electrons and photons, which represent level +8 in the model, is well understood. However, the largest part of reality is the hyperspace, the fourth dimension, where the objects of the spiritual dimension reside, a domain that remains outside the scope of current classical science. For instance, classical physics stops at the Planck constant, designated as level +13. The QEDM is groundbreaking because it encompasses all forms of existence, physical, wave, or spiritual, and describes them using the exact same parameters. This allows for a full correlation between scientific parameters derived from precise calculations and the descriptions of reality found in the most ancient writings. By mapping objects from our known world, galaxies, protons, onto hyperspace, we can assign them corresponding spiritual concepts, such as higher levels of consciousness, archangels, or deities. The main obstacle to grasping reality is our limited view of the space-time continuum, because the physical time we feel is only the first dimension of a true three-dimensional time, and simultaneously, the fourth dimension of space within one unified structure. This reality, which is the inseparable unity of space-time matter, is organized like a hologram, structured as a double toroidal spiral where space and time are two equal but inverse entities, like mirror images. Both spiral around a central line of symmetry, which is their shared axis of existence and which marks the trace of the universe's development. The stable components of this unity continuously develop and grow out of each other. This swelling from within to without is what we mistakenly interpret as the linear flow of time, which is actually just an illusion. In truth, this involves complex twisting flows of etheric structures, or vortices, as explored by researchers like Nikola and Zarev. True, higher reality involves two simultaneous, synchronous processes. One is the process of spiritual categories becoming physical matter, the actual nature of the Big Bang, known as the cycle of transformation from Purusa, spirit, to Prakriti, matter, in the Vedas. The second inverse process is the dissolution of substance back into its waveform, or the creation of progressively higher spiritual forms, the transformation from Prakrti to Purusa. The material structures, protons, galaxies, the universe itself, are simply structures defined by their energy density. Crucially, substance is condensed consciousness, or compressed thought and emotion, and in this sense, substantiality and consciousness are inverse categories. The QEDM even suggests that particles below the known level of stability can exist and behave in a way that aligns with emotions, supporting the theories of Dr. Kozyrev and Dr. K. Volkamer regarding subtle, non-gravitational energies possessing elementary consciousness. Since matter is created as an etheric vortex, the illusion of separate particles is overcome by their absolute interconnectedness, a concept confirmed in modern physics by entanglement, where two particles, no matter the distance, instantly change their quantum states. Therefore, every point in space is actually a gateway to time, its inverse category. The past and future do not truly exist. Everything is now, because all matter is fundamentally linked. The illusion of distance and sequence is only perceived by us because we interact through carriers like the photon for light that travel at a limited speed. However, researchers have confirmed the possibility of instantaneous intergalactic communication using non-electromagnetic signals. Understanding time as a three-dimensional structure allows us to conceive of the world of temporal beings from hyperspace, the subtle energetic forms from the world of ideas. Our energy-space diagram reveals that the photon and the Teslaion, the carrier of Tesla waves, are situated exactly halfway between the supreme spiritual absolute and the universe, in a region we can call the space-time mirror. This is the precise boundary where spatial categories transform into temporal ones, and vice versa, and simultaneously it marks the border between spiritual and material existence. The intermingling of their parameters, known as the wave-particle duality of light, means that objects in this boundary region map onto themselves. As we move away from this boundary and observe material objects, from electrons and protons through man to the stars, which have decreasing energy density, the analysis shows they map onto spiritual objects with increasing energy density. That is, progressively higher levels of consciousness. The number of these spiritual levels precisely matches the number of material levels. Because the hyperspace domain encompasses the spiritual dimension, answers were sought in the direct experiences of the mystics, the technicians of consciousness states, who achieved the highest states of self-awareness. The presence of the observer's consciousness, after all, is inseparable from the phenomenon being observed. The QEDM places materialism and idealism on completely equal footing. The experiences of figures like the Buddha, Jesus Christ, and Muhammad, though using different terminology, are fundamentally identical. Therefore, the stable objects of the model have been correlated with the spiritual categories found in the Upanishadic and Daskalos cosmogonies. This work is unique because it is the first attempt to establish a correlation between the well-known phenomena of physics and the lesser-known metaphysical phenomena, demonstrating that the magnificence of physis, the physical laws of nature, meets the magnificence of the divine logos, the creative principle, in an endless, reciprocal process. According to Upanishadic cosmogony, there are 7 lokas or planes of reality that interpenetrate. The highest is Brahman, absolute reality, followed by Prajanajana, creative consciousness, and Atman, world soul, which in its functions embodies the creator and destroyer. Following these are 4 supramental worlds of extremely high frequency. Then Svargaloka, heaven or mental world, where thoughts instantly materialize. Then Bhuvarloka, astral world, which includes the Narakas, hells, or the plan of the hungry ghosts. And finally Purloka, physical world, where we gain knowledge through the senses, and which is represented by the photon. Similarly, the Daskalos cosmogony encompasses the absolute boundless being, the ultimate source, in the absolute boundless existence, God the Father, which manifests as creation and/or as the Logos and the Holy Spirit, and these 3 are one. This absolute existence then manifests into the mind, the divine super substance from which all things are created.